Hello, this is Alejandro Bratti from Believe in Yourself, Believe in Your Business, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on their respective app stores on iOS and Android devices. While you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today, I am happy that I have to keep awake, Mike.
Thank you.
So Mike is connecting from Switzerland. So how are you, Mike?
Oh, I'm great. I'm great. It was a long day. So actually, this is definitely by far the latest podcast recording or video recording ever for me. It's already 11 p.m. So yeah,
And
my whole
because it's
family is in
live,
bed.
it's here. Like
So
we are live in the program. So
that's
thank you
great.
everyone for listening to us today. Mike, how is this program? How it works? I always start asking you, what are you doing now? What is exactly what you love to do? And then I start to go back in your life to start to know why you started to develop the passion for what you're doing now. And that's where the magic starts to happen, because this believe in yourself is exactly what I have found. It's part of my life. It's exactly like I had to believe in myself, and then I start to go to the next level. I believe in myself, and I go to the next level. So I had to be changing my belief system and changing the thing that I am believing in order to go to the next level always. So thank you for
Awesome.
being here.
Awesome. Yeah, what I'm doing now, I believe in myself. So I quit. I quit my corporate position in my corporate world, my corporate job in spring this year, and I'm trying to build my own coaching consultancy, especially when it's about authenticity and building authentic brands, because that is what I did in the last 20 years of my life. Um, a lot of brand activations, global brand activations for big corporates, be it on the creative side, but also be it on the industry. And I love to make people shine. I love to make brands shine. And actually, this is a very nice link between coaching and consulting, because it's all about people and being your authentic self.
Yes, awesome. So let's start to go now back in your life. Like, okay, who is Mike? Where are you coming from? And also, what do you think were moments of truth for you where you needed to start to develop, like, okay, the belief system that you have right now?
Whoa, yeah. I mean, there were many of those moments because let's say I grew up in a very humble family somehow, and I had quite often the feeling of not being worthy.
Mm,
So that was a belief system that I had with me probably for 35 years or something. On the other hand, I'm grateful for that because it brought me to the places where I am, because I always had that feeling of, okay, I need to prove myself. I need to do things probably a little bit different. I need to work harder in order to be seen, to become visible. And that changed. I mean, that changed a lot over the last decade. So that was a little bit then more my kind of awakening or journey. Hey, who do you want to be? And you are worthy. And it's not that you need to try to seek applause from external sources because you have the applause inside of you.
mm, mm. And that is really powerful. And just to continue understanding that part of not believing or not feeling worthy, because I know some people maybe that is listening right now can be thinking like, okay, I don't feel that I am worthy right now. So what are the things that you needed to that you were feeling when you were feeling like that, and the thing that you started to do in order to survive and start to thrive, you know?
I mean, it's how should I say that? So um, those are beliefs that are created when you're probably very young. So, and this has nothing to do with you because it has to do with the stories of the people who are mainly influencing you. So, be it your parents or be it your environment, even the grandparents or something. So, what they are telling you, you are starting to believe that,
Mm,
and they are doing it from their own system, the way how they were grown up, right? The way how they were raised, and um, I know that, especially so my grandfather, for him it was okay, you need to earn money. So that was for him a key thing. So if you earn money, the more money you earn, the more important you are. Uh, my parents quite often told me things like, "Hey, don't look at those people. This is a different class. You come from a humble family. Those people don't really belong to your kind of thing." And I started to believe that. And I had everything that I wanted as a child. So it was not like that I always had a feeling I couldn't afford anything or anything like that. But there were moments in my life where actually I know that I shared. We had a situation with friends who actually were asking me things like, "Hey, how much did your father earn?" And this was probably when I was around 8, 9, 10 years old, and I knew that number. And when I say that number, I was actually saying it very proud and had that feeling, okay, that's good because we went on vacation, we did all the stuff. I'm a happy child. And then the friends of mine, they start laughing because they thought, no, this is too less. Nobody has so less, earns so less.
mm,
And when I know that I in the evening I asked my father if that was correct, and the number that I said were correct, and that was probably one of the first moments where I had a feeling that I come from a family who has not so much,
mm,
and even I haven't felt it on other ways, and but also then some behavior that you have seen by while growing up, while being a teenager, while bringing all of a sudden your girlfriend home or anything like that, and feeling those kind of things. And I heard some things like, "Oh, why do you always need to get a rich girlfriend or something?" But so I had that feeling, um, and that created probably that belief system in me that I'm less worthy than others, or I need to prove myself in order to be worthy.
mm.
And it never made it. I actually lived my life for at least 35 years without realizing that, right? And and then when I started to go a little bit on my journey to really discover, okay, hey, what's my soul's purpose? What are things that I want to do? What are things that drive me? Who am I? When those questions came up, then all of a sudden those kind of moments appeared. And then you realized, okay, many things that you have done in your life. Why did you start a musical group when you were in your studies? Why did you go to Spain in a holiday resort and work as an entertainer? Why did you um, work go to the creative agents to the creative industry to develop things for other? Because all those kind of things, they made me shine and create gave me a kind of visibility.
So
So
let me, because this is really powerful what you are sharing, and I want to go a little bit deeper with that. So, for example, and I want to read something that yesterday I was exactly talking about this with another person, and I even wrote that, and it was about a belief. So, for anybody that is listening, when you a belief is something that is created when one of our thoughts is connected with something that is very significant for us.
yes.
So that doesn't mean that that belief is true. It's only that you are connecting a thought with something that is very significant. Then
Yeah,
suddenly it becomes like a command for our lives to start to live thinking that that is true. So
absolutely.
when I am hearing you and hearing your story, it's like, okay, you are thinking that you were okay with the number of your dad and how much he's doing,
Sure.
And suddenly what happens is somebody from the external environment tells you, okay, that is too low, and that creates a belief because you connect the thought with the significance of, oh, I am poor, I didn't know that. And feeling that start to create a whole new belief that leads your life for some time. Eh,
Yes.
and why I'm saying this, because at the end that's the way beliefs are created inside of us. Like, it doesn't have to be true. If you compare yourself with another person, maybe you were rich, but at that moment, that belief started to create a new version of Mike.
Yes. And to be honest, I mean, thoughts are never true. Thoughts are just your interpretations. But those thoughts shape your reality, right?
Exactly.
And and therefore it's important to, and I think you need that. So I don't want to say that this was bad for me. I'm actually today really grateful for all those experiences, because in the end,
Mm.
without that, I I wouldn't have learned specific skills. I wouldn't be where I am today. Um, we wouldn't talk, right? So, so it's all good. Why it is how it is. So I'm not sitting there and saying, oh damn, why was that for me like that? No, it's not. Actually, I'm very grateful for my parents that they could do so many things. They let me experience a lot of things. And some of the, let's say, the trauma that your parents not not intentionally give to you is trauma which they haven't solved by themselves yet,
Mm.
right? And they have it from their uh, way how they were raised up.
Yeah.
And so it's not that they wanted to harm me or that they wanted to yeah, create, let's say, a kind of trauma or this kind of wrong belief system that I might had. It's it's not that they want to do this. It's not intentionally. And I don't want to know how many trauma I already passed to my kids, right? But I mean, that's how life goes. And
Yeah, and that's something that we learn in the coaching, and I know that you are doing a lot of that too in the world. And we are going to be connecting with the brand and that idea that you have right now, how to work. But I want to talk on this. Like, when we have a belief that is so strong, that can become your trauma, and that's why you have that belief, or can be the thing that is helping you to thrive. And also, even with what you are telling me, like, okay, that was only stories that developed the person that I am now, and I am grateful for that. That is another belief that you created to transform everything that happened at that moment. And that is exactly something that we have in our heads. There is a in NLP, there is something that is called, like, when you have you can decide that it's local or it's a global something. It's
yeah,
like, okay, I can decide this is something that is happening just right now but doesn't define my life, or this is something so good that I'm going to put it like globally, and it's going to define everything in my life. I have the power to decide both.
absolutely.
And when you
Absolutely.
decide that, everything changes in your life.
Yes. Yes. And it's absolutely your decision. It's
Exactly.
and and this makes it powerful. So, and I'm also again I'm very grateful for all those experiences, because many things, it helped me so much in my career. I might have worked on specific things harder because I always had that feeling of proving myself, but now, and but then there is a moment where you understand how everything came together and why it is like it is, and then you don't need that external applause anymore, right? So you're not craving for that.
Mm.
And when you understand how those things work and what formed you and what is the pattern behind your belief system, then it's easy to go to the next level and just build up on that. But take all the learnings that you have,
Mm.
because I mean, these are all my skills, right? So um, People said so often to me, "You're so incredible creative." I don't think that I'm creative. My key skill is probably that I spot opportunities, that I look at other systems and translate it then to the industry where I'm in. I look out for something that works. I try to translate and like try to make it authentic for the customer base that I'm facing. And people think it's creativity. To be honest, for me, it was like a kind of survival strategy.
Mm. So let's go a little bit deeper on that. How you develop the thinking of, okay, I am going to start to do this, help people with brands. What is why that is important? Who has to develop a brand? Just to start to have the thoughts on the authentic brand building.
I mean, I had no idea what I wanted to study. So at those moments, and I definitely was on my head not that far at that time, and I just I worked in tourism, and I said okay, and study tourism and business administration, and you just did that, and um, and then I want to go in the tourism industry after that. And but then 9/11 happened, and that was not a very good moment to start in tourism, right?
Mm.
At least not in airline management where I wanted to go. So I thought, okay, what is the next best thing that you can do? And at that time, I was managing director of a student club. I was working there as a DJ. I organized a lot of parties, and I thought, okay, let's go to the event industry. Let's just do that. And then I started in the event agencies, did international events on a global scale, and all of a sudden I thought, okay, my friends don't want to talk to me anymore, because in the end, every time events happen quite often on a weekend, so you're not there. They're not inviting you for any party because you're anyway not there. So maybe I should go to the classical advertising. And then I started there, and that is how I came to brand building. And brands really um, interested me in a way that it's like it's like a person, right? You create something which shares a belief that other people want to believe, or that is similar to their belief. And and if you treat brands very authentic, and it's the soul, the authenticity is the soul of the brand.
Mm.
And that is why people buy your stuff. I mean, we live in a world now where people don't buy what you're selling. People buy because they believe in what you believe. I mean, Simon Sinek showed it in his golden circle strategy, where he talked about start with why. But it's really true. I mean, let's say consider a car. I mean, you can buy thousands of cars, right? And you can have cheap cars and more expensive cars. You buy those cars because, on one hand, you want to understand how those cars make you, or you want to have that feeling that those cars make you feel when you have them. So, this is with all those products. And you cheat yourself actually twice. First is you think, um, this is the feeling that I would like to get. So you buy that car because how it makes you feel. And
Mhm.
the second mistake is that you cheat yourself in that end, that when you make the decision to buy the car, you don't know how that car really makes you feel.
Mm.
But it you think it will make you feel that way. So it's all psychology, how to do that, and how to give something to your audience. And people buy because they believe what you believe. They wouldn't buy the car, for instance, if you have a car that is not environmentally friendly at the moment, and you are somebody who takes care of that. It could
Mm.
be the best and the cheapest car in the world, you wouldn't buy it, right? Because you don't believe what that company believes.
Yeah, I was part of the thing that I was studying. Some of the thing that I was studying yesterday was talking exactly about that. Is how a person. like at the end, the value is defined by us.
Yeah,
And sometimes when we are in this process of creating a brand, we want to think about what others are thinking and not what I am thinking about that brand.
yes,
And that's what I'm hearing from you talking about authentic brand is what is the value that I give to that brand and not the value that everybody is giving to that brand. It's coming from the inside out, not from the outside in.
sure,
So
sure. It might that kind of print might work for others, but it doesn't work for me. So
mm,
it's my belief system. It needs to connect with my belief system. And on the other hand, if you- the time is over where brands just could shout out, "This is what we are. This is who we are. This is what we do." Right. So this time is not there anymore. Today is a time where the customer decides, and the customer decides if they trust a brand. And you can only build authentic brands if you focus on a couple of things. So which you need to have a clear vision, you need to have a clear mission, it needs to be clear why you exist, right? So people always think about, okay, hey, what's my purpose? Yeah, I mean, if you don't have a purpose, why should you have a seat at the table? It's that simple, right?
yeah.
So but also authentic brands, they are consistent in their communication. They don't flip flop around every time when something changes, because in order to believe or to trust the brand, you want to see that they have they might have an edge. It might doesn't work for everyone, but it works for exactly those people. And brands who want to be everything for everyone, they are just not authentic,
Mm.
right? And yeah.
But so tell me about your brand, your authentic brand, the brand that you started to create about yourself, Mike.
Oh, for me at the moment, it's quite simple. So I just um, have that feeling of having understood where I come from, why I did things in my life, and how I did that. And now I just would like to help others to find their authentic self. So this is also why I signed up for Mind Valley, for instance, right?
Yeah.
To add coaching to consulting, because usually if you consult, it's quite hard to get always a commitment of the person who you consult to really do something. And what really triggered me was that with Mindvalley you heard, okay, it's more like coach the person, consult the problem. Because if you coach those people and if you hear what triggers them, what is their authentic self, why are they doing things how they do, and then you help them and then you consult them on their needs after you understood that, then the intrinsic motivation for people to change and to do something, it's much, much higher, right?
Yeah.
And I like to do that. So, and I like to make people chime. I just love to make people chime because I had so many moments in my life where I made that, where if it was for brands, if it was a brand that I made shine, if it was something, and I just love that. And I really felt this is some of the core stuff why I'm here,
Mm.
because that's what I can do. That's what I probably do better than others. Um, and um, and if I can work like that, it gives me so much fulfillment, and it um, that I yeah that work doesn't feel like work, because it's just a passion made real.
So I am going to do something that I always do when I am coaching somebody now because of
Mhm.
curiosity with you. So you have been telling a lot about shining and helping people to shine. What is the meaning of that? What is exactly that?
Okay. um, I think people need to become visible. There are so many people who want to be seen for who they are, and live up to that, who they are,
Mm.
but they still struggle around. They struggle in some nine to five jobs, or doing some things which it's actually okay. They're just doing that for the money, so they're
Mm.
not authentic to themselves, because it's not that it's their fault. They just haven't found it, right? And they're not in that stage yet. And for some people, it takes longer. For other people, it goes shorter. Some people, especially artists, they might already know with 15, 16 that they want to do that, and it's just their thing, right? But not everybody is an artist. So um, and there are people who, let's say, they love to work with numbers, and this is also fine, right? If they've found it. But I have the feeling that at the moment we live in a time where people really um, have struggles to show on one hand who they are, to also be vulnerable in some moments. But all those things, this is what gives you trust,
Mm.
and trust is what you need in your job.
Yes.
And um, I also see that, let's say, some corporates are not working like that. It's still those old mindset on some very big companies, where you have hierarchies, but you all say, "Ah, yeah, we actually don't have really hierarchies." But then you need to put your boss in CC for every email or anything like that. I mean, come on. Um, I, I don't know. And there are many people who are insecure, who are not happy with what they do. Um, and I think there's a lot where you can help to help people get visible and actually empower them, to to work for their own purpose.
So what I'm hearing when you're talking about this is in authentic brand, something that you love to help people to shine is in the area of, okay, I am in my job, but I don't like what I am doing. I want to find something else, but I don't know exactly if I can do it. Maybe we can even connect with the idea of if I am worthy of doing something different, and start to do it. And find you, they can help, you can help them to really find their purpose and start to find who they are and how they can start to do it.
Yeah, I love to do that. Also to help people. Let's say you just mentioned that point now. So if you are in a job and you don't feel worthy, um, it can has to do with the company culture. So that's for sure, that you don't have that feeling of being empowered, right? In the role that you're doing. But on the other hand, also it can have to do that you have a wrong mindset in
Mm.
terms of starting with yourself. And also, I know, are you familiar with Ken Honda and
Yeah,
his money mindset approach?
yeah,
And I think this is also something where people are not there. So I really like that. I really like that idea of unhappy money and happy money, right? So money that you like to get and like to give, versus money that you're getting for doing something from A to C.
yeah.
So there are plenty of opportunities in helping people to come in their own action and doing something. And it's also, and I mean, this is something what I see now with many. It's all about doing things. It's not about sitting there and waiting and doing one course over the other, or reading another book and another book and another book. You learn by doing, and you might fail, you might make mistakes, but this is the moment where you learn the most, right? So it's all okay. Just get your, sorry for my French, your ass moving and do something.
Yeah. So in the niche that you work, because I have heard you like, okay, I have been consulting companies to improve their authentic brand and find their authentic brand. uh, but at the same time we are talking about people that it maybe it's inside of that company that they don't have like really clarity of what is their brand or their personal brand. How you connect both or how they are different?
I mean, it's most companies, there are at the moment, there is a trend in the market that you have so many companies asking consultants or strategic companies to help them to build their purpose. So if, let's say, if the executive team is still not clear about what their purpose is and why they belong to the table, I think it's very hard to to commit that passion and that drive and that spirit to your employees if you don't know it. So there is a lot of work that you can do with um, top executive management, where I was part of in the last 10 years. Um, because you see those situations, people, they still work in their own, let's say, in their own departments, in their own silos, looking just at their own thing, and they don't see the big picture. And in order to really help a company to transform and um, to start to shine, especially the brand behind, you need to have full commitment of every employee, everyone, even the smallest person in the company needs to know why he's there or why she's there and what the role is. And if you can't translate that, and if you need, let's say, PowerPoint presentations of 200 slides to make people clear what you're actually doing, I mean, there is a lot of work to do because that's not optimum, right? I mean, you should get your purpose. You should be able to write your purpose on such a sheet of paper, and and that's it. And everybody can understand.
Yes.
And most of the time you don't have it, or you have something which is so high somehow that somebody who's is just a product manager somewhere has no idea what does that have to do with my job.
Mm,
And this is all communication. This is all how break those things down, how take a strategy and break it down. What does it mean for marketing? What does it mean for product management? What does it mean for IT, which is a very powerful enabler for everyone in the company? What does it mean for sales,
mm,
right? So help those companies to break that down and make that clear for for the entire organization.
mm,
And it doesn't matter if only the top management knows that, it won't help you. The top management is probably the one who knows it first because they are always in those development processes. But then they get everything gets most of the time lost in translation because there's so much. You want to be very, yeah, think of everything, but don't forget you have employees who you hired as specialists who also can think, right?
yeah.
You need to give the direction, but don't tell them how to make every little thing by themselves, because then it's not, then you have your hierarchy, and then it's just people in the company who do what they're told to do, and they don't start thinking.
And really, that's what you're saying. Is something also that I really understand from the point of in the past, companies were like, okay, there is only one voice and one person saying what is exactly the company going through and doing about, and now and every day it's like coming more frequently that like there is a lot of voices inside of the company that are unique and are authentic, but they are connected. And it's what you are talking about, how you can create something unique in each person that they feel connected to the purpose of the whole company,
Of course.
uh, but even with their own voice, not the voice of the company. And I have to say it even when I don't believe it and I don't believe anything of that just because they are paying me. But it's like how I can connect my own vision to the company's vision, and we can thrive together.
Yes, absolutely. Because um, right, there is that famous quote. I don't know how it is. So if you want to teach people how to build a ship, right, you need to wake their hunger for the sea. to explore the sea, and not tell them you need 3 palm trees and then you need to hack them or anything like that. That doesn't work. Um, so, and I mean, the show is called Believe in Yourself and Believe in Your Business. And you hire people who you think are talents, because otherwise you wouldn't hire them, right?
Yeah.
But then you don't let them do the things, because then you use them like, okay, that's just now the employee X who should do A to C, but not D, because that's employee F doing.
Yeah.
So it's not, this is not how you get that change and how you get that engagement. And at the moment, I was speaking on a couple of conferences about AI, and it's so amazing to see how that will change now businesses, and how many businesses struggle with, okay, what does that mean? Will we lose our jobs? I mean, right? They think from an old mindset. They don't think in the mindset of, let's embrace those tools and least and use common sense. Of course, it can be dangerous. Of course, um, right? But if you use common sense, and common sense is something which at the moment I think is quite often not used, at least.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's it's not difficult, but give people the chance to explore it. So on one of those conferences where I was talking to C-levels, I had um, they asked me what would be my recommendation in terms of dealing with AI, because you have companies who are at the moment still thinking, oh, should we block ChatGPT that people don't use it in the company? Or they just think ChatGPT is AI. No, it's not. There is so much more, right? And I would really say to people, honestly, to every leader, empower your team. You know what your team is capable of, but give your team, let's say, a task to say, in the next 4 to 6 weeks, you play at least, every single person in the team has to play at least 2, 3, 4 hours with AI in office time.
Mm.
And in 1 month, I want from you a plan how to make our department more effective, more productive. And I'm pretty sure everybody will come up with solutions that make that whole thing smarter, more productive, faster, more efficient, so they can focus, people can focus on the key things, on that what actually engages us, what excites us, on creating things, instead of just doing those repetitive work over and over again, because you have now a very smart assistant who doesn't cost any money, who does that stuff for you.
Or
But
maybe
you,
$20 for ChatGPT Plus.
yeah, yes, but this is actually the best money that I ever invested in something.
Exactly.
I And it's not just that. I mean, also other things. Look at. I just posted yesterday something about some of the best tools that are free, that I would use to boost marketing in companies. And I mean, there are tools there which I think this costed me so much money in the past to do that,
Mm.
and now you do it on a click on a button. Even now, this thing. So, for instance, if I mean, I have here my podcast microphone, and I hope that the voice in the end is okay in the video. But if you record something and the voice is not good, there are tools which are for free, and you just send the the voiceover in, and within seconds you have it like in a studio recorded. So
Yeah.
it's so good. And those things, I mean, what would have that cost even a year ago? I mean, you worst case, you had to reshoot everything, right? And
Yeah.
redo it. And so it's amazing, and I love the time where we're in at the moment. So, and I think it even gives people who are authentic to themselves, and who understand, hey, this is my skill, this is what I would like to do. It gives them so much power in their hands at the moment to develop stuff.
And really talking to the point that you are talking about AI and how to use it, something that I have found is when you have to have an authentic brand, you have to do the inner work to understand what is who I am, understand what is exactly what I am doing, why I want to do what I am doing, how I am connecting with people, what is my purpose, my mission, all the things that you were telling at the beginning. Like, okay, that is my brand. When
Yeah,
I have that idea, I can start to like train the AI, and with that you can have a brand voice,
sure.
and that helps you to create whatever you want, like with the AI thinking like you. And that's a very good thing to help you to develop more skills. And that doesn't mean that, okay, I am not going to develop and I am not going to change. I continue evolving and I continue bringing more ideas and more things. But in that process of continue growing, I continue teaching, I continue growing. So it's a process of both. So, Mike, I know that we are in the last 8, 9 minutes of the program, so I kept you awake. That is amazing. so,
And now I'm awake, so it's all good.
so tell me, what do you want to say about how people can connect with you? Who is the type of people that wants you to call you? If anybody has any questions or comments.
Yeah, if people want to connect with me, probably the easiest thing is LinkedIn. But please also in an authentic way, because I'm not responding to everything. Um, um, Especially when you have those people on LinkedIn who write you with a lot of interest. I read your profile, and we actually should match. And then you check, because I have a pro account on LinkedIn, and I see who went to my profile, and that person even hasn't been there. And if you accept, 2 minutes later comes immediately a kind of pitch. Here's my stuff. Do you want to work with me? No way. So this is not a way how I would like to get approached. But if somebody has a very, yeah, just write me on LinkedIn. It's all good. I look at the things. Um, I mean, if somebody says, hey, I was listening to this show here, and I would like to connect. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to help, and um, also happy to see what I can learn. All of those things, because every meeting that you have is something where you learn something new.
Yeah.
And if you look at this, at different brands, at different stories, it's awesome what you can learn. Yeah.
Mm. So, Mike, in regards of like, okay, if people listen to part of this or not everything, what do you want to people to remember about? Okay, I now I understand that I need an authentic brand, but I have some doubts of how to do it. So, tell me, what is the thing that you want them to remember? Like, okay, if you forget about everything, you have to remember this thing. What is that?
I think I would say something like authenticity is not a strategy. It's the soul of a brand, right? And in the age of information, and we are in that age of information, and we produce so much content, authenticity will be your best currency, because this is what creates relationships with your customers.
Mm,
And these are long lasting relationships with your customers if you do this in the right way.
awesome. So we still have 5 minutes. So tell me a little bit, like something that you want, something funny, just to change a part of what we have been talking, because we have been very serious today.
That was serious. Okay. Oh, um, yeah. Funny. I like to. No, I can't. I can't tell you that yet. I can't tell you that yet, because I will found a company in November. Um, but then I need to tell you, and that will be awesome. Um, and I want to connect all my passions, like filmmaking, coaching, and everything, together in that one single thing. And um, And the beauty of that whole thing is just like a cliffhanger. Every single person is my client. Every person is my client. Even you are my client, Alejandro. So it's all good. No, but funny. I would like to ask you a question.
Oh,
So,
go ahead.
um, what is you? So, if we talk about authenticity, so what makes you? What is your authentic purpose? So, what is the stuff that engages you and makes you shine? I mean, you have that show. You do an amazing job. I'm actually feeling very cool here. I didn't fall asleep, like you said. So who's Alejandro?
Well, I have been doing that work for a while, I understand what you are asking. So, in regards of believing yourself, the reason is I really needed to believe in myself to do a lot of stuff that I needed to do. I come also from a family that is like normal, maybe I can say that it's not rich and it's not poor. It's like in the middle. Uh, but that doesn't, and we were four kids with my parents, so that means that we had the essential to live. But I have a mind that I was always dreaming about big things. So for example, I moved to study from Guatemala to Spain, and to do that, uh, I needed to believe in myself. There was no other way. I didn't have the money. I didn't move any time to there. So that's maybe something that I needed to do in myself, and I have done that. I have changed jobs and the things that I was doing three times. I started in the telecom, and I did other areas like in the coaching side also. Um, but now, if you ask me what I am connected with, I am doing high performance, and what I am doing is I love to connect, and for me that is key for everything that I do. If I don't connect, it doesn't make any sense. I
Wow.
love to inspire. If I don't inspire, it doesn't make any sense also, and that's something that's the reason of this show also, to be inspiring others to really start to become better in everything that they are doing. And the third word that I use is care. I love to
Beautiful.
show that I care uh, every time that I am talking with someone.
And that's also a very important thing for authenticity, caring. So, hey, thanks for sharing. Uh, that's cool because you mentioned many things that are so important for having an authentic self. And um, yeah, I would love to continue, but I mean, I see that it's ending. But hey, that was fun, Alejandro. Um,
It,
definitely.
it was really amazing, and I love we are seeing the numbers of how many people is listening and watching, and it's really amazing. Thank you everyone for being here with us. And
Yeah,
this is
please, all who are there, please connect with us on LinkedIn because that's awesome. Please do. Yeah.
and this is exactly the reason we are doing this. Is this is an authentic program that is bringing people, real people, that is talking about their real lives. So thank you, Mike, for being so vulnerable and open to share your story, and everybody to be listening to us during the whole show. It was really amazing. Do you have
Thank,
any last word that you want to say?
thank you. Really grateful for having me here. Thanks a lot. That was really fun, Alejandro. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. So, everyone, this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out the SpanglishWorld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you all. See you next week.